approximately 625 miles to the northeast in Newfoundland, Canada.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi there.
Welcome to Lance Meadows.
I'm Marty. I have brought the Oak Island contingent
Oh,
here.
lovely.
Marty Lagina, along with researchers Doug Kroll and Emiliano Sacchetti, archaeologist Laird Niven, and archaeometallurgist Emma Culligan, are meeting with Loretta Decker, a manager for Parks Canada, and archaeologist Kevin Smith at the National Historic Site known as Los Olmedos.
This is, as you know, Lance Meadows National Historic Site. So Lance Meadows is the very first evidence of European presence in North America. The Norse here were coming from Greenland around the year 1000.
Encompassing nearly 31 square miles, Los Olmedos is currently the only verified Viking settlement in North America. Since its discovery in 1960 by Norwegian explorer and writer Helga Ingstad, nearly 800 Viking and Norse artifacts have been discovered here, in addition to the remains of 8 buildings, including a forge for the purpose of producing iron tools.
The reason we came here is because these two gentlemen went on an expedition to Europe, and they sort of did a kind of an east to west passage. It led to Scandinavia, and they found evidence that the Norse might have been somehow involved on Oak Island.
We followed the trails as far as Iceland, so we thought the logical place to pick it up was here in Newfoundland.
Makes sense. How are you? Good to see you again.
In 2023, Doug, Emiliano, and other members of the team traveled to medieval sites in Italy,
Oh, look at these. Oh, wow.
Denmark, and Iceland
Wow, look at this.
to investigate an incredible theory that during the early 13th century, Norse descendants of the Vikings helped members of the Knights Templar transport priceless religious treasures from Europe to Oak Island.
You see the Templar cross?
Incredibly, at numerous locations where researchers believe that both groups intermingle, the team saw a number of symbols and artifacts that are identical to others that have been discovered over the past 2 centuries on Oak Island. Now, Marty and the team are looking for more evidence at Los Olmedos that may also help connect the descendants of Vikings and the Knights Templar to the Oak Island mystery.
We know from evidence here that this would be like establishing a base camp on the moon. This is essentially a base camp for resource extraction. They're coming here because there's resources in this region, not just the Lance Meadows area, but this entire region.
Well, that sort of segues nicely into why we're here. It's not disputable that the Vikings or the Norse were here. What we're trying to figure out is where they might also have gone, specifically on Oak Island. You know, I mean, could they have visited? Could they have been part of what went on there?
They may not have been here during the summers. This is the wintering camp. This is probably where everybody's congregating to in the fall, after they come back from the expeditions which led them further south.
Okay, this is the only proven site in North America. Do you believe there are others?
The sagas talk about another place called Hop. Hop was a place where they worked in the summer. So yes, I do think
And
there is
that's
at least
not
Hop.
been identified.
That's not been identified yet, no. But it's supposed to be somewhere to the south of here.
The other interesting thing, though, we know that they're going further south because we have butternuts and a butternut burl here in the collection. They were found just nearby. So in case you're wondering, butternuts have never grown here.
Right.
What geographic area are they known to have grown in?
The furthest north is in that Nova Scotia, New Brunswick region. Never here. That proves they did go as far south as Nova Scotia, for certainty.
The butternut seed infers that the Norse explored much further south because that butternut seed only grows between New Brunswick and New England. And that's important to us because in order to obtain that butternut, they may have came to Oak Island.
You said that Hop was the summer camp
Yes.
mentioned in the sagas.
Yes.
So could Hop be where they found those butternuts, or so could
Certainly.
that be Nova Scotia?
Certainly.
That's real interesting. That means they could have gone as far south as Oak Island.
Yeah.
Speaking of possible connections between the Viking descendants and the Templars, We know the sagas even state that the Norse visited Rome
Yeah.
to meet with the Pope, right? The Templars were a Catholic order, and that put the Pope in direct control of them.
Yeah.
Right. I think all of those sagas, they all, when you see when they're written, they all, especially the ones dealing with this area, they're all linked into the church who are claiming land to the west.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the island, we've gotten some results in the past that indicate European activity in the 13th century.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
Yeah. So when you hear those dates, you automatically begin to think the Norse.
Yeah.
This is all incredibly interesting, and we are very keen to learn more. So what's next?
Well, come with me and I'll show you. Everybody, this is Ragnar.
Good day.
Hello.
Hello.
Also, my real name is Mark.
Marty Lagina and other members of the team continue their tour of the historic Viking settlement known as L'Anse aux Meadows.
I've been trained in the Viking Age aspect of blacksmithing. I've been working here for 25 seasons now. Yeah.
To give you some insight on why we're here, in our quest, down on Oak Island, we're starting to suspect that somehow the Norse may have had something to do with what happened there.
Last year, we managed to reacquire an artifact that was said to have been found in a dig in 1965. And it's this item here that Laird has. We showed that to an archaeologist over in Denmark, and she thought it was very reminiscent of the Viking time period. Do you think that weapon point could be made using your authentic early techniques?
It's possible. I've made arrows look like this.
Have you tested anything with it, or?
I've done XRF scans on it. It's definitely not like 1700s post. So the scans are ready.
In 2023, Emma Culligan analyzed the arrowhead in the Oak Island lab using an X-ray fluorescence spectrometer, a device that emits non-destructive radiation in order to identify the elements that make up an object's composition and which can help to determine their age and origin.
I think these levels would indicate like pre-1600s.
It may be supportive of these other dates from our other findings on the island that we have in a medieval context.
Yeah, exactly.
He was pretty good, the guy who made that?
Yeah, it was pretty good. It probably would have been made by Bog Gordon as well.
Yeah.
So this stuff on the rock here that you see, and I can pass it around to you, right? You just spread it around, spread it around. There you go, just pass it around. That's bog ore.
Yeah.
Generally what bog ore is two major components, is ferrous oxide and sand. Where you find this stuff is actually in the bog, so it's prevalent in this kind of environment.
A little bit closer to Nova Scotia, Oak Island has a swamp as well.
Bog ore is a naturally forming iron deposit typically found in swamps or rivers and has been used across Europe in order to forge tools and weapons dating as far back as the 5th century BC. It was also a material commonly used by Vikings and their descendants. Is it possible that the iron arrowhead was also made with bog ore? And if so, could it help prove that the artifact is of Scandinavian origin?
We have some bog iron that's taken from the region that we can give you, Emma, for testing.
Yeah, I'm really excited to collect any kind of data of bog iron, and in the future I could compare Oak Island artifacts to potential bog iron.
Oak Island has become so complex in this time we've spent there and with so many different possibilities that we're just trying to eliminate some or gather some. So this is excellent. I'm pretty charged up. I think Rick's going to be very interested in the results of our mission to L'Anse aux Meadows. The trip was absolutely worth doing. Mark, many thanks. This has been very informative, really good stuff. Loretta, Kevin, thank you very much. We've got a lot of data here. We're going to get back to the island and go through it.
Thanks for coming.
Absolutely.